Thanks for joining us for the news at 11. I'm Taylor Regan in for Kevin Nathan. We begin with breaking news this morning. The political fallout continues for former New Britain Mayor Erin Stewart. Within the last hour, another report was released revealing new allegations against her. As we've been reporting, her campaign for governor ended abruptly last month after she was accused of mishandling city funds. Let's get right to NBC Connecticut political reporter Mike Savino live in Hartford. Mike, you have followed this story since the very beginning. So this new report, as we understand it, details Stewart's efforts to get benefits that she wasn't entitled to. So walk us through it.
Yeah, Taylor, more specifically, various forms of compensation. And one of the new findings in this report is that she tried to get a severance package of as much as $205,000, claiming she was entitled to that payment because she worked 24/7, never took a day off in her 12 years in office. And these findings are the latest in that ongoing inquiry by an outside investigator hired by the city. And I just want to read a statement that the mayor of New Britain, Bobby Sanchez, put out today when they released that report. He said that he is beyond frustrated, bewildered, and saddened by what continues to be uncovered. The people of New Britain deserve a government that operates with integrity, transparency, and respect for taxpayers. Now, back to that severance payment. She did face pushback from city officials, including the Human Resources Director. She ultimately lowered that number to $151,000 in getting that agreement signed. But investigators with the Crombie Law Group, that outside law firm, said that she was entitled to something much smaller. In fact, that was 10 times what she should have been entitled to as mayor for unused time as she left. This report also takes a deeper look at that tuition reimbursement that we've been reporting on, how she got $31,000 in payback to get a master's degree. This report says that that memorandum that she got that allowed her to get that payment went around both state and city laws, because state laws state that an elected official is not allowed to renegotiate their compensation in the middle of their term without approval from the proper legislative body, in this case, New Britain's Common Council, and that did not happen here. Lastly, this report notes that Stewart tried to request a pension, even though her 14 years combined on the Board of Ed and as mayor fell well short of the 20 years of service that she would need to qualify for a pension. We did reach out to one of Stewart's attorneys today. He did not immediately respond to comment to this report, but the Crombie Law Group did recommend that the city submit these findings to the proper authorities for a further investigation. Stewart's already facing several investigations. Both the FBI and state police are conducting separate inquiries into her use of a purchase card. That's that report that you referenced a month ago, Taylor. And then just yesterday, Attorney General William Tong and the Department of Consumer Protection said they want to look at how she handled assets for her nonprofit Mayor's Trophy charitable fund.
A lot to unpack here, Mike. And we do want to mention that Stewart has said she intends to make full restitution for anything that she owes. But long term, I think a question many people have is what could happen to her?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering what may ultimately be the ramifications here. Of course, the city is saying that they will try to seek whatever restitution that they are entitled to. And talking to a lot of legal observers, they do expect criminal charges here. The question, of course, will she face jail time? Again, going through the court is one way to make her pay back, but I think a lot of people watching this question, is that enough to get an official to pay back for some of the things that she is accused of doing here, or if she is convicted, would she also need to serve jail time as a punishment to her and as a message to others after her that this conduct is not appropriate?
Mike Savino, we appreciate you providing more context this morning. We'll continue to update you as more information becomes available, but we appreciate your report this morning from Hartford. Now, this all comes on the heels of an investigation that was launched by Attorney General William Tong and the Department of Consumer Protection. Mike laid out the timeline for you, but we want to recap it once again. So yesterday we learned that they're looking into a charitable fund that was used during Stewart's time in office. State officials tell us that they have questions about how money for that fund was used. A subpoena was then issued, which requires Stewart to appear for a deposition at the end of June. And this follows a bombshell report released last month by the Crombie law firm looking into purchases that the former mayor made with that city credit card. We also learned the city is reviewing questions surrounding tuition reimbursement for Stewart's master's degree. Tong and the DCP released a statement saying in part, quote, It's our job to ensure charitable organizations adhere to all rules and regulations and to give our priority to give donors confidence when they give to charities that their contributions are being used as intended, end quote. Now, Stewart has not been charged with a crime, and we've reached out to her attorney once again for comment, but have not heard back. Mike Savino and our team are staying on top of this story, and our coverage continues tonight on the news at 4. But if you'd like to read the original documents, which examine Stewart's spending on a city credit card, you can download our free NBC Connecticut app. This issue, by